What's for dinner, Mom? Homemade hibachi with homemade fried rice. You're going to need some skinless, boneless chicken thighs, some Japanese barbecue sauce, some sesame oil, some sesame seeds, garlic powder, pepper, and the seasonings of your choice. Marinate that chicken and set it aside, and then you'll need your veggies. So you'll need some broccoli, carrots, red pepper, onion, zucchini, green onion, and garlic. You'll also need some olive or avocado oil, some butter, some oyster sauce, soy sauce, and sriracha if you like spice. For your fried rice, you'll need at least 1 day, but preferably 2 or 3 day old, steamed rice. You want that rice to be at room temperature, so you're going to need to take it out before you even start this process. 2 large eggs, peas, carrots, more diced onion, and the seasonings of your choice. You already have your sesame oil, your soy sauce, and your oyster sauce. While your chicken is marinating, you should be chopping up those vegetables, rinsing them clean, and all of the like. To limit the number of dishes that I'm going to have to clean, I just chop my vegetables in the order that they're going in the pan, but in the reverse. So the zucchini goes in last, with the peppers, the onions, and garlic go in before that. The broccoli goes in first and the carrot goes in shortly thereafter. And I'm going to reserve some of that sweet onion and some of that green onion for my rice. I'm going to heat my pan to medium-high heat, and then I'm going to add my avocado oil. Once that's heated up, I'm going to start adding my chicken thighs in batches. I'm going to cook my chicken thighs until they're about 3/4 of the way done, because they're going to go back into the pan once they're chopped up with those vegetables. Once my wok is heated on medium-high, I'm going to add some avocado oil and then my broccoli. I'm going to season that the way that I like and make sure that it's mixed well as it continues to cook, and remove my chicken as I go along. I'm going to allow my broccoli to cook for about 2 or 3 minutes because it is frozen, and then I'm going to add my carrots. You want to keep the chicken that you remove from the pan covered so that that heat stays in and those juices can express from the chicken. And after about 2 minutes or so of cooking with the carrots, I go ahead and add my onions and red peppers. And I allow those vegetables to cook down for 2 or 3 more minutes. You want to keep the heat on that wok as high as possible, but without it being on high, because you don't want those vegetables to wilt. You want them to stay crunchy. And so then I'm adding my green onions and my zucchini. Because that zucchini has the shortest cook time, I'm simply going to stir it around for a few moments, not even a full 2 minutes, and then I'm going to remove it from the heat and set it aside. Once my chicken is all done, I'm going to dice it up in bite-sized pieces, and then I'm going to add about 2 full tablespoons of butter to that pan, return that chicken and all of the juices and all of the vegetables to the pan that I prepared the chicken in. Then I'm going to add my garlic. I'm going to stir that up, and then I'll add my soy sauce and my oyster sauce. You can also add your sriracha here. I like to let each person add sriracha to their individual plate so that they can control the amount of heat. I'm going to turn the heat down low, and then I'm going to stir that until it has the desired color and the sauce has the desired thickness. And I'll continue to add soy sauce and or oyster sauce until it has the flavor that I'm looking for. Then I'll cover it and allow it to continue to cook, but on low. Now, I thought the camera was recording, but it wasn't. I put 2 tablespoons of butter in my wok, and I fried up my 2 eggs, and then I set them aside. I added another tablespoon of butter, and I added my frozen peas and carrots. I allowed them to cook for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then added my green and sweet onion. And then I seasoned those vegetables well with my lemon pepper, my Mrs. Dash, a pinch of pink Himalayan salt, and then I added another tablespoon of butter. Yes, people, this is fried rice. You need that much butter. And then I added my fried rice. You don't want to mush the fried rice up. So you want to take a spoon and break it up in that pan. And what you'll notice is that when you add your soy sauce, your oyster sauce, and your sesame oil, and then you start to mix it up, you'll notice that there'll still be clumps of rice. And the best way to separate those clumps without completely mushing the rice is to use a soft spatula at first. And then as it continues to heat up, you can use the back of a spoon to kind of push those clumps of rice towards the sides of the pan, like I'm doing here. If your rice is room temperature, you'll have a lot less clumps. You'll know that your fried rice is fully saturated and appropriately fried when it's all the same color, and it won't be all the same color until you get all of the clumps out and it's completely heated through. You do want to taste your rice to make sure that it has enough flavor. The key to really good fried rice is that it's not mushy, it's not soggy, and it's flavorful. Once you have the flavor right, you want to go ahead and add your egg. Plate your food while your rice is piping hot. Add your meat and vegetables, your sriracha, and your yum yum sauce.